Alright guys, Papa Pepper back once again. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about how much it cost us to get up here to Michigan after dropping $500 and fixing up the truck, plus some money to compensate my mechanic friend. We're going to talk a little bit about traveling with children, and then also Monster Truck gets a crazy rare opportunity to break in his fishing pole, which he just got for his birthday, which he just happened to decide to see if he could bring with for the trip, so we did. So check it out. Alright guys, Papa Pepper back again on the road. We are currently outside St. Louis on the outskirts of the city. We're able to drive up to St. Louis last night. The truck made it fine. I did have a dream that I broke the truck, but thankfully so far it was only a dream. I don't know, I was in a parking lot and I was heading backwards too fast that I wasn't able to push the brake enough to stop in time. So I threw it into drive and punched the gas, did a big burnout and blew the tires. So thankfully that has not happened, but then my dreams were kind of troubled and I was thinking about solving my problems while I was supposed to be sleeping. But hung out with some friends, technically in Ferguson, Missouri. Had a good night with them, a good breakfast, a good morning. And now we are off to Michigan. We've got, I don't know, how many hours does it say of drive time? So just over 7 hours of drive time. It's currently about 11 Central Standard Time. They're on Eastern, so at some point we'll gain an hour. And the plan is to get up there to have chili for dinner. So we'll see how it goes. So far, we haven't had to buy anything. We're still on the same tank of gas, and we're able to bring munchy food to eat. So try to travel like that, where we just stop to gas up when we need to, and bring some cheaper food so we don't have to buy gas station food or fast food on the way. So we'll see how it works. Alright guys, first fuel up here in Illinois. Just put in less than $52. We got about 450 miles to go, so I expect another one. But this should be less than 5 minutes here at the pump and back on the road. Into Illinois, we found something we recognize from back in the day. Check it out, son. We're gonna stop, grab a little bit of food here at Subway behind me. People are using the restroom at the gas station here, and then we're going to continue on the way. All right, throw it. At me. Can you hit me?
Not sure.
Can you hit me? Come on, if you hit me, I'll give you a face wash. Hey! Can still dodge a snowball after all these years. All right, let's get some lunch. This is the first time with real snow or no? He's happy about it. Bugger, what you got? Snow. Snow? How do you even know what that is? You guys want to have a little bit of picnic?
Yeah! I tried sucking it out of the snow.
So I just got 2 foot-long Subway sandwiches for a grand total of $17.30. We got some chips in the truck, brought some juices with us, but the foot-long, what I do is have them cut it in half. I'll eat a 6-inch, Mama can eat a 6-inch, and then the other half of that sandwich can get cut into 3 pieces. So we wind up with 2 adult portions and 6 children portions, and not all our children are exactly a full portion, are you, Lid? Yeah, so Bugger's gonna get all that snow. We're gonna eat a little bit of lunch here. Guys, at this point we've got less than 4.5 hours of drive time, just under 300 miles to go till we reach our destination this evening. Looks like we'll have a nice hot meal waiting for us, plus the warm reception of friends, so we're looking forward to that. I wanted to take a moment just to kind of talk about traveling with children in general. And of course, you know, proper restraints and car seats and unexpired car seats and, you know, making sure everyone's buckled up and stuff like that is important. But I want to talk about some of the other things. A lot of times when I travel or mention, you know, traveling, or people see us unload, being a family of 8 right now, 2 parents with 6 children, a lot of people are like, wow, you must have some DVD players in there and stuff like that, right? And we're like, no, actually, we intentionally do not. For one, is the second that we did, we would be forever dependent upon them, meaning that we would train our children that the only way they could really sit quiet in a car is if they're staring at a screen the whole time. They don't do that at home anyway. That's not their life, either with a computer screen, a tablet, a smartphone, or a television. And that's not really how I want them to travel at all either. I want them to be able to look out the window. I want them to be able to enjoy the scenery. I want them to be able to recognize places. Hey, I've been here before. I remember stopping there. You know, learn the way back home. Not just to be staring at a screen the whole time and then eventually you put them in a car and they don't know how to drive to the town a half hour away because they've never really looked out the window. They were always staring at a, you know, a screen. I don't want that. I don't want to leave them to their own devices, you know. And we have a couple simple rules in our family anyway, and then some specific car rules and things that just help. Number one is that our children are not allowed to repeat themselves. If they have something to say, they can say it well, and they can say it, you know, conversation is kind of like, if I'm going to talk to one of my children, I'm going to address them by name first. Make sure I have a verbal acknowledgement that they've heard that I intend to speak to them. You know, I'll say monster truck, and he'll say, yes, sir, and then I'll continue. They can learn to interact like that and have good communication skills so that they only need to say something once. And then also, one of our specific, you know, car rules, or, you know, same thing goes with asking questions as far as not repeating. If they got a question, they can ask it once, patiently wait for a response. But then one of our specific car rules is that they're to whisper in the car, that they speak quietly. Of course, it helps when you have sleeping children. You know, if your baby or your toddler falls asleep, you don't wake them up and have them be super tired and uncomfortable and start screaming, and then it gets really loud. They're less likely to wake up, you know, the other children if they speak quietly, but then it makes for a much more peaceful ride for both us and the other children. If you notice right now, I have 6 children from ages 9 to less than a year in this vehicle. How many of you guys are awake? Yeah, 5 of them are awake right now. But if you hear, you know, you wouldn't know there's any children in here. So, I would like a lot of things, if you're actually intentional and you actually consider the outcome of your actions ahead of time, then you can make wiser decisions. You can implement things in the life of your children when they're younger, and then they just grow a certain way, rather than kind of letting them do whatever they want, or just following things that may be common these days. I know there's a lot of common ways that people raise their children, a lot of things that are very generally accepted. But if you look at kind of the average person out there, the average child out there, I really don't want my children to behave like that. I really don't want them to respond to their parents like that. And therefore, sometimes you have to choose to do something different than what is common or what everyone else is doing. So we're enjoying it. Right now, the children are working on a couple things. One of them is geography. We're looking at the different license plates. We're writing down all the different cities or provinces. Saw some Canadians that they're from. Then we're figuring out the 2-letter abbreviations for those cities. And then Mom's got a big atlas up front, so Mama Pepper's showing them where they are on the map. And so far we're at over 20 states and 1 province already, so looking forward just to kind of, you know, having that be part of what we do too, just a geography lesson and recognizing stuff. You know, a lot of times when people see that we're from AR, being the abbreviation from Arkansas, they think we're from Arizona. A lot of adults do that. So from the time my children are young, they know that AK is Alaska and AR is Arkansas and AZ is Arizona. You know, they won't make that mistake as they're an adult. So just different things like that. I'm gonna get back to the road here, but figure I'd give you guys an update, let you listen to the family for a second. And I don't know, we'll see what else happens up the road here. Stopping for gas the second time, we're right about $52 again, $51.62 with the $1.10 toll we had to pay. We're up, well, I don't know, what, 120 bucks now in expenses on this trip up. We're actually less than 2 hours to where we're going, but we're also very close to Lake Michigan. So Monster Truck brought his fishing pole and tackle, which he got the other day for his birthday with. He might take his first cast with his new pole in Lake Michigan. I don't know. But we're about to find out. So daylight's fading. We'll see what happens. Well guys, this guy wanted to bring his fishing pole with us on this trip. A lot of places adults have to pay, kids don't. We're here at Lake Michigan. This is pretty crazy. There's some good waves in there. We're gonna let him take his first cast in Lake Michigan with his new fishing pole. Wow. There it was. First cast with the new pole into Lake Michigan, and I'll tell you what guys, we often do not cast in Lake Michigan in Arkansas. Child, I want you to get back, girl. Inside the railing. So hey, give it a flip, son. Let it sink down, and when you bring it in, do a bit of jigging and twitching.
Well, actually, let me
Yeah, so let it sink for a minute. We don't know how deep the water is, and then when you bring it back, just jig and pull. Pinky Pepper thought she'd try his pole while Monster Truck went to get a jacket. Let me know if you get anything. Well, not much for fishing, but a beautiful scenery. And worth seeing, huh, kids?
Yeah.
So did one last stop before we get there. We got less than 90 miles, less than an hour and a half. Stopped at Aldi rather than fast food, but $2 for a bag of mandarins, stuff like that. So $13.41 spent, and we got a bunch of good healthy stuff rather than the fast food. Resist the temptation. Probably quicker too. So yeah, with that $13.41 at the Aldi anyway, we got 3 bags of those mandarins, a big old clump of bananas, enough for everybody. And rather than drinking like a soft drink, you know, some high fructose sludge in a cup from a fast food place, you know, we're drinking kefir. You know, got 32 ounces of kefir to be sucking down, plus some string cheese. So money well spent, better food for our bodies and stuff like that. And even what I was saying about the kids earlier, about the children riding in the vehicle and stuff, I don't claim to be an expert. I got less than 10 years of parenting under my belt. I do not have a lot of experience, but I do have a lot of incentive. And when I look at kind of the status quo of what's become acceptable in our society, I don't mind pointing out a couple things that we do that seems to work out well for us, or providing a little bit of food for thought for others too. So daylight is fading, just over an hour away. Excited about this, and I'm really excited we don't see much snow yet too. I wasn't sure how deep it would be up here. I wasn't sure how cold it would be. It was definitely cold out there by Lake Michigan, and all the kids agreed with that, but still a beautiful sight to see, and glad to be able to pause on a trip like this. You know, every minute we take not on the road makes it take longer, you know, in the whole thing, but you got to be able to stop and enjoy life as well. So you guys enjoyed that, right?
Yeah.
And we got 5 up again. The little one fell asleep, but you know, nice quiet ride even with a car full of kids if you do it right. So we'll see you when we get there. Should be there soon. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed that little bit of travel vlogging. We are going to be up here for a week. I'm not sure what all is going to go on, not sure what all content I'm going to create. I do have a couple ideas because of a recent video I saw from Farmer G, and then also I had an update I wanted to do anyway, so we'll see how it goes. Just wanted to thank you all for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed the ride as much as we did. Papa out.